And finally, to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. Several roads in Manila will be closed to motorists to give way for activities related to the annual Catholic procession in Quiapo on Wednesday. In an advisory issued by the Manila Police District Traffic Enforcement Unit, the southbound lane of Quezon Boulevard in Quiapo from A. Mendoza to Plaza Miranda and the westbound lane of España Boulevard from P. Campa to Lerma Street will be closed beginning Monday. Vehicles coming from España going to Rojas Boulevard or Taft Avenue should turn right to P. Campa straight to Fugoso to their destination. On Tuesday, beginning 5 a.m., the Katigbak Drive, South Drive, and Independence Road will also be closed. Motorists coming from A. Bonifacio are advised to go straight to Rojas Boulevard to their destination. Vehicles from TM Calao intending to use Independence Road can also use Rojas Boulevard going to their destination. On Wednesday from 12 a.m. onwards, the MacArthur, Jones, and Quezon bridges will also be closed, as well as Katigbak Drive and both lanes of Quezon Boulevard near Quiapo, Manila. The Philippine National Police, for its part, will step up its security measures for the event, adding that cellular phone signals around Quiapo area will possibly be switched off during the said event. TRASLACION organizers meanwhile reminded Catholic devotees joining the event to exercise discipline and to heed advisories.
Sa ngayon, ang pinaka-challenge talaga ay yung ating mga deboto. Yung sana po ay yung madisiplina sila at talagang matutong makinig doon sa mga panawagan at pakiusap para mas maging maayos talaga yung prosesyon.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, begins implementing today higher penalties on illegal parking and other traffic violations. 57 motorists were apprehended earlier when MMDA personnel swept down the service road of Rojas Boulevard in line with the agency's new initiative. Based on MMDA regulation number 18-008, attended but illegally parked vehicles will incur a fine of 1,000 pesos from the previous 200 pesos. Fines for unattended but illegally parked vehicles have been raised to up to 2,000 pesos from the previous 500 pesos. For road obstruction and violation of the yellow lane policy, the penalty is now 1,000 pesos. Apprehended drivers may pay the amount due at any bayad center or at the MMDA office within 7 days from the day of apprehension.
Yung clearing operations namin, ini-small lang ho tayo 2 years ago. Sa tuwing nagsasagawa tayo ng clearing operations, 300, 500, bariya para sa iilang mga motoristang may kaya sa buhay, lalo na ho yung mga private.
Malacañang allays fears on the reported profiling of the Philippine National Police on the members of the Alliance of Concerned Teachers, or ACT. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says teachers who are affiliated with the said group have nothing to fear if they are not doing anything illegal. This is Panelo's response to reports that the PNP has called for an inventory of all school teachers who are aligned with the ACT. Panelo also stressed that it is not the policy of the PNP to surveil teachers, but defended that the PNP can monitor any conspiracies to commit rebellion. Earlier, PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde has ordered the relief of the 3 intelligence officers who leaked the memorandum that had caused unwanted concern from the teachers group.
But as far as I'm concerned, wala akong pinirmahan na ganyan na sinasabi na ano. Although sabi nga natin, itong profiling, this is not profiling. This has been part of our intelligence monitoring lang naman ito. Kung talagang sila ay very proud dun sa pagiging member ng ACT, ikakatakot mo naman kung wala ka namang ginagawang masama, di ba? Bakit katakot if you're a member of that act?
3 suspects in the killing of Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe and his security aide, SPO1 Orlando Diaz, detailed their participation in the crime when they personally subscribed to their affidavits before Albay Provincial Prosecutor's Office. Rolando Arimado, the second gunman identified by the Philippine National Police, says he served as a lookout of main gunman Henry Yuson and consecutively shot Botocabe and Diaz twice. Danilo Muela, who claimed he was an employee of Daraga Mayor Carlwin Baldo, says he was among those who planned the assassination. Yuson says he has already requested to be placed under the Witness Protection Program of the Justice Department as he fears for his and his family's life.
Gusto ko po. Kung nangangamba rin ako, siyempre di ko alam kung anong mangyari sa akin. Gusto ko yung buhay ko, yung seguridad man po, ma'am. Gusto ko rin yung pamilya gusto ko rin na masecure man sila. Di ko rin alam ang buhay nila kung may magbanta sa amin.
He also called on Mayor Baldo to surrender to authorities and to face the consequences of his actions. 6 out of 7 suspects are now under police custody except Daraga Albay Mayor Baldo. A warrant of arrest has not yet been issued against him.
Mayor Alvin Baldo, sana po harapin mo itong katotohanan na pag-utos mo sa amin. Panindigan mo ito na ginawa mo ito, na ikaw talaga yung pinaka-mastermind nito.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has disqualified at least 40 of the 152 people who filed their certificates of candidacy for the 2019 senatorial race. COMELEC says some of these individuals were disqualified because of being a nuisance candidate, while others were barred from running or being incapable of launching a national campaign. The Omnibus Election Code defines nuisance candidates as those who file COCs in mockery of the election process to cause confusion among voters by the similarity of the names of registered candidates or by other acts which clearly demonstrate that the candidate has no intention to run for the office for which the COC has been filed. COMELEC says they should be able to release the official list of candidates by the 3rd week of January when they begin printing the ballots. The poll body is also looking to limit political campaign expenditures on social media, but clarifies that candidates are free to post when campaign period starts as long as they will follow the rules stated in the Fair Elections Act. COMELEC targets to issue the rules before the start of the campaign period on February 12.
We will, however, make sure that whatever draft regulation that we have will respect the individual's right to free expression. Ang babantayan natin ay kung paano nagagamit yung social media sa konteksto ng gastusin. Magkano ang ginagastos ng mga kampanya para dito, para hindi siya maging paraan para magtago ng maraming pera na nagiging unfair kasi nga may spending limit tayo.
Meanwhile, starting today, the Land Transportation Office will accept online submissions of medical certificates of those that are applying or renewing their driver's license or permits. However, the LTO reiterated in its Memorandum Circular 2018-2157 that medical certificates given by their accredited clinics and physicians will be the only ones accepted by its IT systems. According to LTO Regional Director Jojo Guadis, this is to ensure that the medical certificates are authentic and that the applicant is indeed qualified to drive. Under the new process, the accredited doctor must transmit online the soft copy of the medical certificate of a specific applicant through his or her own biometrics data encoded and registered in the agency's IT system.
Ang dami pong mga instances na yung mga clinic, wala naman talagang doktor na nandoon. Either secretary lang ang nandoon or kung sino-sino lang at may mga pre-signed na medical certificate. And then, bit ng tao to, medical certificate na in-issue ng medical clinic ko, no? And then, dadalhin nila. And then, based on that, may LTO will be issuing a driver's license, relying in good faith na yun ng tao talaga ay fit to drive. Samantalang hindi pala.
However, some applicants were dismayed to find that only few clinics are LTO accredited and that they have to endure long queues to get their medical certificate. The LTO admits that they have yet to register all their accredited clinics in their IT system. The agency has also apologized to the public for the delays and inconveniences due to the new process. And for the news abroad, here's Pauline Ompico live from Tokyo, Japan. Pauline, good evening.
Good evening, William. President Donald Trump still insists in his demand to build a wall along the U.S. border with Mexico, but hints at making a compromise as the partial government shutdown enters its third week. Beverly Sison tells us why.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday pledged not to bend in his demand for a wall along the southern border with Mexico, but said the barrier could be made of steel instead of concrete as a potential compromise with Democrats who refused to fund the project.
So we've been in touch with a lot of people, and I informed my folks to say that we'll build a steel barrier. Steel. It'll be made out of steel. It'll be less obtrusive and it'll be stronger. But it'll be less obtrusive, stronger, and we're able to use our great companies to make it by using steel. So we're going to be doing a steel barrier, and that gives us great strength at the border.
The U.S. president also said that he is looking at a national emergency to get funding for his border wall depending on how negotiations develop.
No, we're looking at a national emergency because we have a national emergency. Just read the papers. We have a crisis at the border of drugs, of human beings being trafficked all over the world. They're coming through. And we have an absolute crisis, and of criminals and gang members coming through. It is national security. It's a national emergency.
Trump's comments came at the start of the third week of a partial government shutdown that has left hundreds of thousands of federal workers idled or without paychecks. Vice President Mike Pence is leading a second round of talks with congressional aides on Sunday about the issue, but Trump said he did not expect those talks to produce results. The White House warned against that the shutdown could last for some time, while suggesting that the offer of a steel barrier was an olive branch to Democrats. Democrats would likely demand other concessions like protections for immigrants brought to the United States as children, otherwise known as Dreamers, or changes to other spending provisions.
Beverly Sison, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
The new president of Venezuela's opposition-controlled National Assembly says Nicolas Maduro would be usurping the presidency if he is sworn in for a new term as planned on January 10. Congressman Juan Guaido of the Popular Will Party was elected to lead the assembly after an agreement between opposition parties was reached. Guaido did not specify how Congress would go about it, but did say he would like to lay the foundations for a transitional government and call for new elections. This comes a day after the Lima Group of Latin American nations plus Canada said on Friday that last year's elections in Venezuela were not democratic and they would not recognize the legitimacy of Maduro's new term. An offensive by Mexico's new government against fuel theft at one of the country's main refineries has led to days of shortages at gas stations in several central states, as authorities move more fuel by tankers and less by vulnerable pipelines. Many gas stations in the city of Guadalajara in Jalisco State were closed on Sunday, including those operated by state oil firm Pemex, Spain's Repsol, and BP. There were long lines of motorists at those that were operating. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, who took office in December, has vowed to tackle theft outside and inside Pemex or Petróleos Mexicanos. Fuel estimated worth more than 146 billion pesos or $7.4 billion has been stolen since 2016 alone. King Mohammed V abdicates throne in a historic first in Malaysian monarchy. Meanwhile, a group of human rights advocates urged Thai authorities to stop plans to deport a female teenager who was allegedly fleeing abuse from her family. Kath Dumaraos tells us why.
In Malaysia, Malaysia's King Mohammed V resigned on Sunday, the first time a monarch has stepped down from the throne before completing their 5-year tenure. The king's resignation took effect immediately, the National Palace said in a statement. No reason was given and palace officials did not respond to requests for comment. The palace statement said the king was grateful for the opportunity given to him by the Council of Rulers and thanked the Prime Minister and government. Malaysia has 9 royal households who typically take turns to sit on the throne. The selection of the next king can be decided via vote in the Council of Rulers made up of all 9 royal households. In Yemen, the U.S. military said on Sunday it has killed a militant in Yemen believed to be one of the planners of a deadly bombing of the Navy destroyer USS Cole in 2000. The U.S. Central Command said Jamal al-Badawi was killed in a precision strike in Yemen's Marib Governorate on January 1. Badawi was indicted by a federal grand jury in 2003 and was wanted for his role in the USS Cole attack. He escaped from prison in Yemen twice, once in 2003 and again in 2006. And in Thailand, a human rights group urged Thai authorities on Monday to halt plans to deport an 18-year-old Saudi woman who says she's fleeing abuse from her family and fears they will kill her if she is returned home. Rahaf Muhammad Al-Qudun said she fled Kuwait while her family was visiting the Gulf country and had planned to travel on from Thailand to Australia to seek asylum. She said she was detained after leaving her plane in Bangkok and told she would be sent back to Kuwait. In a video, Rahaf filmed himself inside an undisclosed hotel room.
It's Rahaf, and I'm still in the room. I have no choice. They said I have to go tomorrow and no one can help me right now.
Thai immigration authorities denied Kunun's allegations, saying she was refused entry to Thailand on Saturday night because she did not have the proper documents for a visa on arrival. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Pauline Ompico, live from Tokyo, Japan. World number 9, Japanese Kei Nishikori snaps his 3-year title drought after upsetting Russian Daniil Medvedev in the Brisbane International. Meanwhile, former world number 1 Karolina Pliskova fights back and drew on all her experience to beat Lesya Tsurenko. Victor Cosare will tell us why.
Japan's Kei Nishikori overcame Daniil Medvedev in the Brisbane International Final on Sunday for his first ATP title in nearly 3 years and the 12th of his career. Last year's finalist Nishikori, who prevailed 6-4, 3-6, 6-2, won 70% of points on his first serve and converted 5 out of 15 breakpoint opportunities to snap a 9-match losing streak in finals. Breaking Medvedev for a 3-1 lead in the third set, Nishikori held firm to seal the match in a little more than 2 hours for his first trophy since winning in Memphis in February 2016. Meanwhile, former world number 1 Karolina Pliskova battled back from a set and a breakdown to beat Lesya Tsurenko 4-6, 7-5, 6-2 and win the Brisbane International for the second time on Sunday. Tsurenko served for the match at 5-3 in the second set, but the tall Czech drew on all her experience to overcome her Dodge opponent and regain the title she won at the Queensland Tennis Centre 2 years ago. Chelsea midfielder Cesc Fabregas has played his last game for the Premier League side, according to reports in the UK. The former Spain international had made 197 appearances for the London club across all competitions, twice helping them to win the Premier League. He also won the FA Cup and the League Cup with them after joining in 2014 from Barcelona. Fabregas, 31, has been linked with a switch to Monaco, where if it does move, he will be reunited with former Arsenal teammate Thierry Henry, who is currently in charge. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue.
A Japanese schoolgirl is set to become the world's youngest professional Go player when she enters the board games rankings as a 10-year-old in April. Sumire Nakamura will enroll into a special program run by the country's Go Association and begin her training as a professional after April 1st. By doing so, Nakamura will break the record set by fellow Japanese Rheena Fujisawa, who became a professional player when she was 11 in 2010. Nakamura's father, Shinya Nakamura, is also a professional Go player, although he said he did not expect his daughter to turn professional so soon. And those are the reasons behind the news, January 7, 2018. On behalf of Rheena, Villamor-Camara, and Angela Lagunsad, I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.